Welcome home, Red Pack. Marcus here, and welcome to Comfort Cartoons, the show where I collect absolutely everything from the late 90s, 2000s, all the way to the modern day. And I'm also trying to create the world's biggest SpongeBob and the world's biggest Nickelodeon collection. But not just that, the creator, founder, CEO of this show is an unlockable character right now on Warner Brothers Multiverse's video game. But I hope you beautiful people are having an amazing day, and if you guys aren't, you know the drill. Shovelware, camera, flip! It's about to get a whole lot brighter, Red Pack, because your boy is here. And today is going to be an awesome video because we are going to be exploring my entire video game collection outside of Nickelodeon. So I did a video a while ago showing off my entire Nickelodeon video game collection, but that was over a year ago, and honestly, the video game collection has grown substantially since then. So maybe later on this year, as we add a few more in, I'll have to do an updated version on that video. But for over a year as well, I've been wanting to, as soon as we film that video, I've been wanting to showcase my entire video game collection of other animated shows. So of course, you know, this isn't gonna be a video, you know, this is Comfort Cartoons. This isn't gonna be me showing you my vintage Halo games and like steel bookcases. It's not gonna be me showing you like old NES Mario games. It's only the video game collection you're only gonna find on this channel. I'm gonna be showing you all of the shovelware, Cartoon Network, Disney, and stuff in between. That's the stuff that I love the most in the world, is the shows that I grew up with. So along with trying to collect all the Nickelodeon games, I've always been on the side trying to collect some of those other things too when I see them. And I've kind of amassed a bit of a collection. We're not gonna show you everything because that kind of defeats the purpose, but we're gonna go the no. So you guys saw a little blip there. Some of you guys may have seen a couple of these during some of my Cartoon Network room showcases, but there's definitely be more of a detailed look at stuff and a few new items as well. But I can't wait to cover everything. So we're gonna be doing a game counter of all the games that I have outside of that are either Disney, Cartoon Network, or animation related. But with any further ado, this is gonna be a complete time machine to some shows that you're gonna be like, what? That got a video game? And yes, it did. So you guys are gonna be shocked. And some of these shows, I'm curious if any of you guys even remember besides me. Let's go ahead and check it all out. So this one right here we're starting off with is American Dragon Jake Long. And man, this show has some history to it. I think we were talking about it beforehand. We basically have the original Jake the dog with John DiMaggio, who voiced the dog in American Dragon Jake Long.
Give a dog time to get his face on, would you?
So you basically get the original version of Jake the dog.
Yeah, because he didn't change his voice very much.
Yeah, of course his name's not Jake, but it's essentially the same character voicing a similar style dog. But also, do you know who does the voice of Jake himself?
It sounds so familiar. Yeah, I don't know his name.
He's a certain firebender.
Oh yeah, the Zuko.
Yes, so Zuko. Let's play a clip of Jake Long right here. And then let's put a picture of Zuko on screen. So this is Jake's audio, picture of Zuko on screen. There it is. There it is. Like, you can see it so well now. And then play the clip back without Zuko there. It's Jake. So it's basically the same exact voice. So he was firebending way before he was Zuko, you know, as an American Dragon. But American Dragon Jake Long, I remember this version of Jake Long where he was kind of like the more beefy, thick Jake Long. And then a couple years later, they made season like 2 and 3, I think, like skinny Jake Long, where they changed the art style. But this is the one that I love the most and I grew up with. So the American Dragon Jake Long, the game itself is very similar to a game I used to grow up playing called Get Fat. With a PH, because that's what you did in the 90s, you got fat. And you basically are skateboarding and you like use some kind of like battle action sequences that get powered up to become the American Dragon. And I don't remember the exact price I paid for this, but none of the games I paid more than 20 bucks, so let's just say 15. So now they are selling the game for American Dragon Jake Long for about 35 to 40 bucks. So I mean, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not super expensive for a sealed game from the early 2000s, but it's expensive enough to where you might pick something else, you know?
It's like almost kind of like in the inconvenience price range.
Inconvenient, exactly. Like, you know, you can get 2 games like this for maybe 100 bucks. Whereas when I was getting them, it was like, you get like 5, you know? So it was like, okay, well, I'll throw Jake in there. At the time, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna regret getting these, but at the same time, I just wanted them for my nostalgia and be able to see the cover and like a representation of that show, being that it didn't have a lot of products. So we'll add that to our price and we'll see the overall general value of this game collection, which really ultimately, it doesn't mean much because I don't think I'm gonna ever get rid rid of any of these. Oh yes, one of the greatest shows that is slept on of all time. Mucha Lucha. Mucha Lucha. So if you guys don't know or what the show's about, it's about these three kids here, and they're essentially wrestlers. It was like El Tigre before El Tigre. But look, this one, Espanol included.
I mean, that makes sense.
Do you remember all the characters' names?
Yeah, you got Flea.
Okay.
Then you got Buena Girl.
Uh-huh.
And then...
Ooh,
hold on,
no way you forgot the main man. He's like a pinball. He bounces off the
Ricochet,
wall.
yeah.
Ricochet! Yes.
Spinning top!
So that's the whole crew. This is a 4-kids show, but they did later air it on Cartoon Network. And if I didn't mention, American Dragon Jake Long was a Disney show. And I mean, hey man, I might consider a Disneyland pass if they have Jake walking around in a costume.
That'd be sick.
But probably won't ever happen. But Mucha Lucha was a huge part of my childhood. I used to watch it all the time whenever it came on WB, because I would tune into WB to watch Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of the later seasons. I would even watch, you know, Ninja Turtles, stuff like that. And I would end up watching this show as well. And then I watched it heavy when it came out on Cartoon Network. So we'll have some gameplay footage on here. With a lot of these games, I have never played these ones. With a lot of the Nickelodeon ones, I've gone back and I've been trying to play them. But since I still have so many to play, I have not even thought about going over to the other directions of like Disney and Cartoon Network yet. But I wanted to make sure I had this one in the collection. So there we have it. So this one sells for about $25, still brand new sealed. So I mean, it's not like they're like freaking like if I bought like a Mario game and they just like X like, you know, 10, because vintage video game, retro video game collecting has become massive. So I mean, I didn't really even care if they went up or anything like that. So the fact that they retained their value for me is pretty much a plus. All right, me and Mitchell, one of our favorite shows here, we have the Jackie Chan Adventures. Oh man, this is a dope show. So we have the Jackie Chan Adventures here, Legend of the Dark Hand. You're a legend.
Are you Chanino?
Man, I was a part of the Chan clan. This show is so epic. So if you don't know what the Jackie Chan's Adventures is about, it was essentially about Jackie Chan, the movie action star, getting his own cartoon. And I swear, you put Aang, Goku, and Jackie Chan from this show up against each other, 9 times out of 10, Jackie's winning.
Oh, absolutely.
Jackie's unstoppable. Do you see him giving a little freaking leaf hurricane to this freaking giant crab monster? Who else does this?
Jackie.
Jackie. So there we have Jackie Chan's Adventures to the list here, number 3. All right, so this one was kind of a come up. I got this one, I remember getting this one for like 10, 15 bucks too. Like I said, all of them were less than 20. Most of the ones that weren't Nickelodeon, they were probably like 15 and under. That's how cheap these things were. And I see the same thing kind of happening with like the Wii era right now. Like the Wii games, brand new sealed, are like super cheap. So I mean, those are definitely probably like one of the next better things you gotta pick up. And they have so many good like cartoon and different related video games. But Jackie Chan's Adventures right here goes for 90, most recent sold 90 bucks.
That is insane.
But it shows you like, you know, we have 3 shows here, and I'm not saying they're all created, like maybe this one had more copies released, maybe this one did too, but people love this show enough for this thing to be kind of sought after, you know?
I wonder if it has to do with it being like Jackie Chan, like too.
I don't know, but if I had to pick one of these shows to watch for the rest of my life, it'd be this one.
Oh yeah, those are the most entertaining.
It was epic. You know, I love all these shows, but that one was, you know, that was awesome. I mean, the biggest like secret you had in this one was that Rose was a part of the Hunt's clan, you know?
Yeah, true.
Spoiler alert on this Disney cartoon that came out like 20 years ago.
How dare you spoil this?
Now this is something I want to know if you remember. This is, I believe it's a Canadian animated series, I would assume by the style of it. This is Super Duper Sumos.
Whoa.
Yes, they got guts and they got big butts. So this was a show that I believe I saw it on Cartoon Network back in the day. I remember being like maybe like 6, 7 years old. The show came out. I remember seeing a couple trailers for it, seeing the show, and then it was just gone within like a month. And I had never heard about it again.
It just makes me think of Ben 10 because of the sumo slammers.
Yeah, definitely sumo slammers vibes. But you have like these multiracial group here of like an Asian man, a black dude, and then also like a white dude. You know, a little bit of everybody in there. You know, as a lot of the early 2000s shows kind of did for diversity. I could not tell you what the show was about, besides the fact that it was sumo wrestling.
And they have giant buttocks.
And I remember they kind of had like superpowers, but they kind of just did kind of gross stuff. Like there was kind of like gross stuff that they did for their like, abilities, basically.
Like tooting.
Yeah, like tooting, basically. But I don't remember much about the show. We'll have to play a clip of the show.
You really saved my butt.
And then, of course, let's go ahead and play some of the gameplay here, too. So, you know what, dude? This actually, I was wrong. It wasn't Cartoon Network. My memory fled me the wrong direction. I felt like this. Tell me this doesn't give Cartoon Network vibes more than this.
Yeah, definitely like, like 8 in the morning, early.
This is Nickelodeon. So this should be over there.
That's crazy. What the heck?
So I guess it's staying in here. We have Super Duper Sumos, and I'm learning something in this video too. I did not know this was on Nickelodeon, so that's where I had watched it, I guess. Like I said, I only remember watching it like a handful of times and then never seeing it again.
Maybe it was 2 out of Nickelodeon's like dialogues, yeah, or categories. Sorry,
it's less than what it has on the sticker here. This was $29.99 back in the day, and now this thing goes for $20, brand new sealed. So
devalued a little.
Yeah, I mean, still probably like a couple bucks more than what I paid for it, but I'll happily keep this. That's probably one of the few products this show has, and just to kind of never let it just escape my mind. Okay, next up here, we have Hi Hi Puffy Yami Yumi Show.
Oh yeah, I remember this one coming on.
Yeah, so this show did not stay on for super long. I would say maybe it had a season or 2, if that, but it was a Cartoon Network show, and it also starred early, like, a Japanese band that was kind of like, I feel like it wasn't super common when we were kids to have like music that was a hybrid of like Japanese or Korean fused in with English to make music. Like now we have K-pop, you have J-pop, probably freaking A-pop, which I guess is American pop. There's all the different pops. And it's very common now for there to be hybrids between languages and music. But I feel like the first time I ever heard like that happen was Hi Hi Puffy Yami Yumi. I don't really know. I can't say I watched the show a lot, to be honest. I do remember it briefly. For some reason, the art style gives me vibes of like the Buzz on Maggie that was on Disney Channel. But I feel like I honestly watched that more than this one. But here it is though, on Game Boy Advance, sealed. Okay, so on this one, not bad at all either. Like I said, probably just assume everything was under 20. We'll just give everything a price of 15. Some could be higher, some could be lower. But this one goes for $65 today. So I mean, I'm glad that I picked it up because I do love it, having it in the Cartoon Network room especially. I love being able to pull out these old Cartoon Network related GBA games, and for me, I always collected GBA because to me it was the best format to collect. Like of course I love collecting the DS and the Wii too, but being that they have like the cardboard boxes, it lends to a lot of them not kind of surviving. So I would just pick them up and then put them in these protectors, and I'm so glad I did to have a nice little fresh copy of this game. Alright, so that's game number 5 there. I don't even know where our value counter is out right now.
I've lost count.
We'll find out when we see this video come up. Now this one I can imagine is probably not very expensive, but I am happy that I picked it up nonetheless. We have Phil of the Future. I don't even know the theme song. How does the theme song go?
Meet a boy named Phil and his family on vacation from the 22nd century.
He's the 21st century man.
I remember it was like kind of campy, but we have Phil of the Future right here.
I mean, you never know. I mean, it is a very random game for sure.
I have no clue. The gameplay for it looks so bad, I'm not gonna lie. You have like these pixelated versions of the characters like that you're using at the time, like on the left there. And it's like not even like video game versions of them. It's just like they took like actual like school photos of them and they just pixelated them.
Oh no.
But I remember this show, pretty well because I think her name is Allie, or AJ. Either Allie or AJ, I don't remember exactly which one she is. But I remember she ended up going on to make Cowbell. Do you remember the movie Cowbells?
Oh yeah.
Two girls who always get what they want.
That's Daddy's factory. Isn't it the cutest?
So, like, I remember that, and, like, I remember her, and, this kind of big in that, like, Disney live-action era, maybe not the That's So Ravens or the Sweet Life success, but it was definitely still up there and notable enough to get a dang video game, so solid. And I'll never forget that caveman. The caveman always kind of freaked me out. Ooh! This one's going for a whopping $10. So $10 still today. And I don't think I have the That's So Raven game or the Hannah Montana, but if I ever see them in the wild for a good price, I'm gonna pick them up, Just to have those representations in some form. Like, not everything can have its whole room and a whole section, But Phil of the Future can have a single game in my collection to kind of have as a little memory. Alright, this game is probably the worst game here. It's not because the band's amazing, the band's incredible, but the game is probably one of the worst video games ever here we have NSYNC, Get to the Show. So this one's actually on the Game Boy Color, so a little bit older, but the game is not very good. I've seen a couple gameplay playthroughs of it. It is a very poorly made game, and I don't know what happened with this game, but I think that these were like in a warehouse. So you know how the Mr. Krabs effect where he's like, you know, looking for that hat that's worth like $1 million, and they're like, we found a whole warehouse full of them. Those things are worthless. They had somehow, they must have found like a lost pallet or like an ET situation, like buried under the ground stockpile of this game, because like maybe just like 3-4 years ago, I was seeing this game, Game Boy Color, in like Walgreens.
What?
In Walgreens, that they had it for sale for like $5. So I don't know how much the game goes for right now, but I got it for $5. NSYNC, Get to the Show. It wasn't even that long ago I found this, so, and I've seen it kind of pop up like for other people too, so it was just a really random game that was like, I think, lost in a warehouse somewhere and then just kind of came out, and now they're not really probably worth much because there's so many new ones sealed. So we have, it's really $5 but $10 as the value. It's 10 free shipping. To basically less than that. Next up, another show I don't have a lot of experience watching, but I do remember it being around, so I grabbed it mainly because the cover. We have Duel Masters here. Ooh. So Duel Masters has this like circular textured cover.
That looks sick.
Yeah, it just looks sweet, so I grabbed it just for that fact alone. Duel Masters here on the Game Boy Advance.
I just don't know what the difference between this and like Yu-Gi-Oh really was.
It wasn't not much different.
Yeah.
It was really just, you know, a kind of a straight ripoff of like Yu-Gi-Oh meets Pokemon, kind of. With 300 Duel Master cards. But look at the cover, you know? Let's just talk about the cover. That's really what this is about.
It looks sick.
Yeah, like the cover has this really cool vortex on it. That's mostly why I grabbed this guy. Okay, so for Duel Masters, it's about $30. So, you know, like I said, we put a little bit of gameplay footage for you guys here. You know, just for that little, like I said, can't collect everything Duel Masters because, you know, I have to collect Pokemon, I collect a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, we have everything else to collect, but it's a little, like, you know, little encapsulator of Duel Masters in my memory. I'm glad I have this, dude. All right, so the next one up here we have is kind of a wild one. We have the Bratz the movie. So I don't even know why I have this. Like I said, it was just something that probably came up for like less than $10, and I was like, you know what, I'll grab it. So have no information as to what I could tell you about the game, but the Bratz movie game. Here's some footage on screen for you guys. Help Sasha, Chloe, Jade, and Yasmin learn how to play music, create new dance routines, and polish their talent, and prepare for the talent competition. So you take that for what it is. And this one's going for a whopping $10 to add to our calculator there.
I feel like it's like a very common theme. It's like, okay, well, this was a game.
It's like either it's like, oh, here's, yeah, either it's like $10, $20 or like freaking 60 plus.
Yeah.
All right, now let me know if you remember this show. I'm Trivia and Mitchell here, some wild shows.
Let's see it.
Atomic Betty.
Ooh, yeah, that seems super familiar. Yeah,
so this was a show that was on Cartoon Network. It gives me for sure like Duck Dodgers, you know, kind of vibes.
Yeah, like a mix of that and like, oh man, what's that little green dude that like pestered, was it the Jetsons or something?
Oh, okay, yeah, I know you're talking about Gazoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this show was big for us in the US, but it was really big, like huge in Canada. So if you're, you know, Canadian based, you probably are very familiar with Atomic Betty. And the game for this one doesn't look that bad. Like of all the games we've been looking at the footage, it doesn't look terrible. I wish I could say that I played a lot of these games, like I have the Nickelodeon ones, but I haven't spent a lot of time playing these ones. Maybe one day down the line, it'll be on my my roster of things to play, but you know, I'm really hyped to have it. And again, don't have a lot of them. I'm sure Atomic Betty probably has action figures, some toys and stuff like that, but this was enough. Just a one little blip in time was enough for me to pick it up. So you have Atomic Betty there. Let's see what she adds up to be. So this guy goes for 30. I mean, not crazy. Pretty much what it retailed for back then. If you would have bought it and held it all these years, it's still that same amount. Okay, now this is another game that I have like no clue why I have this or what this is even from.
Must be a movie.
If any of you guys know this show, let me know without looking it up. Princess Natasha.
Something's rotten in the kingdom of Zoravia. No, not that.
I have never heard of this show in my entire life.
I've never seen this.
Me either. Apparently it was a cartoon called Princess Natasha, and it was popular enough to get a video game. And tell me why the background, if you look at the images there, the backgrounds and stuff, the images, like the game looks better than some of the more well-known titles that we featured here so far.
Yeah, it looks like a spy game or something that looks sick.
So we'll play a clip from the show and, you know, of course, a little clip from the gameplay too, but the gameplay looks like surprisingly good for this era compared to some of the other stuff, like I said, we showcased here. I am unaware of this altogether, though. I'd never heard of it. Student, secret agent, princess.
Kim Possible.
I mean, yeah, without the princess part, it's like, okay, basically, I had the princess, and now it's 2006. It basically was Kim Possible, but she's also a princess.
Oh, it did air on Cartoon Network, okay.
It was on Cartoon Network?
Cartoon Network and AOL.
That's AOL?
American Online
You said it
Kids.
was airing on AOL?
Yeah, AOL Kids.
AOL had a channel?
Apparently so.
Alright, so AOL and also Cartoon Network had this at some point. But don't lie, I genuinely want to get like a little bit of survey here. Like,
Yeah.
if you've never heard of it, just don't lie and be like, oh, I heard of that. Oh, big brain. Yeah. If you've genuinely watched this or remember this as a kid, let us know in the comments.
It aired from 2003 to 2006, so.
That's peak me watching cartoons 24 hours.
And I still don't remember.
I don't remember it. $6. $6.99. You know what? I'll rep Princess Natasha for $6.99. Why not? Next up, we have Shrek the Third.
Why is this a game?
Yes, because they made 2 more Shrek movies after the first and second that you saw.
Happily ever after.
Yeah, I mean, I love Shrek, so I grabbed this game.
Isn't there a 4th already too?
There's many. I think there may be like a 5
Now they're
Shreks.
working on a 5th. Yeah.
There's 5 Shreks, some spin-offs. You have Puss in Boots as 2 own movies. No spin-off for Donkey, but now that Eddie Murphy's back in the movie game, you never know. You might see a Donkey spin-off. But, you know, I would say this game probably isn't that bad. I love Shrek. Shrek's hilarious. Here's some you know, you already know about Shrek. I don't need to show you some movie footage of Shrek.
Shrek is love.
But here's some Shrek big gameplay here. But one of my things I don't like about the GBA games, I think what kind of distincts them from being good or bad, is I don't like when they just get like pictures of Shrek, you know, and then pixelate them. And that's his sprite. You know? I know in their mind that like gives it more of a detailed look, but I personally like when they make an original sprite that still looks like Shrek, but looks cuter and form factors to a pixelated version better than like that. So it's just literally like still images of the characters in the background shots. You can see all of the background assets. Everything is just kind of like pictures pixelated, you know?
Like they took it from the movie almost, yeah.
Yeah, and from my experiences with some of the Nickelodeon games and playing a lot of shovelware titles, is that usually is a good like indicator of how much they put into it. Like if it's got original assets made for the game, typically it's pretty okay. But when it's like just straight up like images of the characters and really poor quality, they're usually just kind of like they threw it together as quick as they could. All right, next game up here we have Kids Next Door. This is a recent pickup. Yeah, I got this one not that long ago. This is Kids Next Door, and again, this is one where you can see they kind of did rip the assets, you know, from like sprites of the characters, but overall the backgrounds and the stylization of it isn't bad. And I've noticed that studio actually kind of worked on a lot of these. So this one was done by Activision, actually. The game was made by Activision.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
But this one over here was made by Global Star Software. So you'll notice a lot of companies work on, like the same companies work on many different properties, games. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of these other ones were made by them. But, you know, here's some gameplay footage on screen for this. I don't think we need to spend too much time, you know, explaining Codename Kids Next Door. One of the most iconic shows, you know, of the 2000s in general. I mean, a long-running show for Cartoon Network standards as well. I mean, I guess we could do this. Pick your favorite member. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. As a kid and now. For me as a kid, my favorite was number 4.
As a kid, yeah, number 4 for sure.
He was like the Raphael of the group.
Yeah,
you know,
he's just
always
like
angry.
AG and yeah.
Yeah.
As an adult, I like number 5 and number 1 though.
As an adult, I can relate the most to number 3.
True. I mean, you did just get some rainbow monkeys.
Yeah, like I feel like me and number 3 are like kindred spirits now. So I like number 3.
But I do like Nigel a lot too.
Oh yeah, Uno. His last name was his number.
Nigel Uno, yeah.
He was a product of the Kids Next Door.
It's just very unfortunate for his dad being Uno and being number 0.
Yeah, that's true. All right, guess on this one. I think you'll be shocked a little bit.
I'm gonna say $27.
40.
What?
Yeah.
40.
I think it's because the show is so iconic and so nostalgic. I mean, look at the Codename Kids Next Door action figures. They're like hundreds of dollars. Like if you get any of these figures, some of the ones that come in the like variety pack with multiple characters, those things are hundreds of dollars. It doesn't surprise me the game is worth at least 40.
I guess I should have expected that because they have like it's one of the few shows that has their own trading card games too.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it was a very marketable series. It didn't, I don't know how well the marketing, like the products did, but now people love the show and are constantly looking back trying to find the items from the show. So that collectability has only extended, I guess, into the games for it as well too, being $40, which is not crazy considering that like this was $30 when it came out. It's only $10, but most Game Boy games that weren't like Mario, Pokemon, they came out and then within a matter of months they'd be down to like 10, 15 bucks, and that's kind of where they expected to sell. So like $40 is pretty solid. Next up, another game show you maybe remember, Cubix.
I remember the toys. I don't remember the show.
You probably remember, yeah, like the Burger King toys?
Yeah, I've had Cubix, but I don't remember the show at all.
I remember the graphics were really weird. I think we covered this on the show not that long ago.
Nothing compared to Jimmy Neutron's CGI. Yeah.
Yeah, the CGI on this was really, really rough. But I do remember Cubix, and like you said, I mostly remember those Burger King toys. You know, Cubix is swinging harder than I thought. It looks like it goes for about 25, 30 bucks.
What?
I would expect like $5.
That's what I was like, oh yeah, like 5, 4.
It's another one that I got for that same reason. I'm like, will I ever buy anything Cubix ever again? Will I ever have another Cubix product? Probably not, but if I could have one thing just to not forget that it existed, it'll be this GBA or Game Boy Color game.
That's crazy though.
We're adding up here. Okay, so you guys remember these. We all remember these. The Game Boy Advance video cartridges here. So right here, we picked this one up recently in a Cartoon Network haul. Yeah, this is a premium edition. No other edition came out. It was all premium. But you get 4 episodes on there. You get Dexter, you get Johnny Bravo, and also Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
We'll encourage.
I used to love popping my SP open like this, like a little TV, a little laptop, watching something else on TV at the same time.
That was the nice thing about the DS too, is you got a bigger screen to watch GBA stuff.
But we covered this one recently, so we won't spend too much time on it, and I believe the price for these guys is about $20, so we'll just go ahead and throw that on there. Alright, so next up is a 3-pack, a trilogy.
Oh, this is like a saga almost.
You have Cartoon Network Block Party.
Okay.
Sick game, you know, I mean, I think it's kind of like a Mario, like WarioWare type of thing, Mario Party game where it's like a mixture.
Yeah, like the little spaces you could land on.
Yeah, and then they also released on the PlayStation 2 and also on Game Boy Advance, Cartoon Network Speedway.
And then like Mario Kart.
Yeah, and then those games are so small and lacking in content, they're like, oh, we could put both of them on one cartridge.
What? That's crazy.
So I went out of the way to make sure I got one of each because I was like, I think I got this first, maybe. And then I was like, well, I kind of want to get them individually. So then I got this one and this one. And now we have, you know, this whole little 3-pack here. Strangely enough, all of them seem to go for around $30.
What the heck?
Like you would think, okay, you get both of this one, so 60. Or like, okay, this isn't the least, maybe the less collectible because it has them together. So maybe these would be more, but they're all equally 30. I think these survive on the fact that they're Cartoon Network branded. You get so many different characters. Just the artwork alone, I think, holds that $30 bill. But then this right here is because of the fact that it's like a little bit, probably was way less printed than these two.
Harder to come by, yeah.
Yeah, harder to come by, the 2-pack. So, yeah, you're looking at a $90 little lot there.
That's insane.
All right, so adding 90 onto our list there.
That's wild.
All right, next up we have Zatch Bell here. As a kid, I loved watching Zatch Bell.
You know who's got to cast that spell if we're gonna take the day.
I don't know what that outfit he has on is, you know, it's like doll clothes, I guess, right?
Wasn't that the whole premise? Yeah.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a little puppet, like Shinigami demon-like thing, but he makes his own version. He makes his own version of him, basically, like not him, but he makes his own little toy version so he could have a toy as well. So he's the owner of him, and he's the owner of him.
That'd be a funny series in itself, just human form of Pokemon.
But it was a badass show, and again, one of my earliest like anime memories, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I guess it kind of is an anime, huh?
Yeah, it's an anime for sure. Like, you know, you have like Yu Yu Hakusho, you had Death Note, Naruto, but even before that, it was like probably, yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho and this show, Zatch Bell.
And Cowboy Bebop.
And Cowboy Bebop, exactly. So, you know, this is probably, I owe this to a lot of my my current love for anime. So, shout out to Zatch Bell.
I'm guessing like 90.
Yeah, Zatch Bell goes for $90.
That's insane. That's wild because it's just like, I don't know, yeah, it's just, I feel like it comes in the line with Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff where it's just like, oh yeah, that was our first anime.
It's so weird though. Yeah, I guess like you said with like, well, Jackie Chan Adventures is blowing my mind still.
That was its own different league.
But it's so interesting that, like, you know, these were solid 30 bucks, but I mean, I guess it's like, why are these not more expensive than this? Because Cartoon Network is super collectible as well, but like Zatch Bell be 90 bucks? That's kind of shocking to me.
So far we have two contenders at 90, which is complete opposites of each other.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan and then
Zatch Bell. All right, next up here we have, for me, I don't know where this one's gonna land. I feel like because of the meme culture.
Oh, little Einstein.
You know, since TikTok and, you know, all the different TikTok and all the different songs that have just become kind of like, you know, bangers.
We're going on a trip.
Yeah, like maybe it's got some like, you know, some staying power because of that. I know the toys for Little Einstein are pretty pricey, so I'm interested to see what Little Einstein's got here. We have some footage on screen here. It's a kids game, so it's very basic, like, oh, okay, pick the matching picture, or, you know, help them decide which route is best. And like one route has like lava, the other route has a bridge, and they're like, oh, I guess I'll just send these kids to the lava. You know, it's very basic game, so let's take a look.
And I could see 35 bucks for it.
I could see 5.
I could also see 5, yeah.
It looks like it's going for about 20, because it's like people that are buying this are assuredly have to be nostalgic. Like, it's like you're not buying this for your kid, likely, for a Game Boy Advance, you know?
Yeah, it's just more like, oh, that was
dated.
a good show when I was a kid. I want to get something for it, yeah.
Yeah, like for us, Blue's Clues, you know, like...
Or something like that, yeah, like, what, even like Winnie the Pooh stuff or something, I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say that did surprise me a little bit, so 20 bucks.
So that was like in the middle then.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is gonna be like Zatch Bell. Like I've said in many videos before, I was a Beyblade kid so hard that I took it into my adulthood playing the Beyblades. I don't regret a single moment of it. But the Beyblade GBA game.
Yeah, I mean that, and like, what was it, Bakugan, or yeah, Bakugan, and
yeah, Bakugan was like the predecessor. Yeah, but I would say 2003. It was before the game. The DS had even been a thing based off the back here. You got Ty right there, you know, ripping out Dragoon. Let's see how much this one goes for.
See, now this one I could see 60.
I'm curious. Like I could see it also just being 30 again as well. But I just want to know, like,
is this the first like Beyblade game?
I would assume. Yeah, I would assume. There's other Beyblade games that came out in the future, like for the Metal series and stuff like that. Definitely on the DS, but I think this was the first game for it, yeah.
I feel like that could make it a little more pricey.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Ultimate Blader Jam. He's going for about 35. So not as crazy as Zatch Bell for no reason. Zatch Bell's just up there. But 35 is not bad. At least he retained his retail value.
True, yeah.
And this was made by Atari.
Oh shoot, that's cool.
And when you look at the gameplay, like how it looks, it doesn't surprise me that Atari made that. Look at how old that looks.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, how much longer did Atari make games, you know?
It looks like something you like an arcade game almost. But nonetheless, we got 35 bucks added there.
I wonder if we're gonna have any that like break that and go to 3 digits.
Ooh, that would be crazy. I mean, we're almost getting to the end here. Probably not, but we'll see. So now we are working our way into the DS. We don't have a lot of DS games. You'd think I had more, but really I got the GBA games. I don't see a lot of DS games in the wild, very rarely. All the ones that I have here were ones that we got in fan mail or in the wild. So we have, what is this?
What is that?
Now that's what I call music on CD.
What the heck?
This is the first. This is not supposed to be out here. This is the first ever. Now that's what I call music. I got this because I was like, hey, you know,
dude, you just wanted to listen to Lenny Kravitz, didn't you?
No, I really just wanted to listen to Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
What?
In the 90s was a crazy time. But this was the first ever. They've made Now, that's what I call it, a million. But this was the first one, so I don't have any other Now disc. I just got this one because, you know, this is 90s vibe, 98, why not? But this is not supposed to be here. Unrelated, we're not gonna check the value. But we have another game that's not supposed to be out here. We have Meow Kai Land New Year's Celebration. I guess we'll add this on here since it is here. I got this at a swap meet, I believe, like for $5. Like the guy was like $5. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I took it, exactly. There's a Nickelodeon game I don't have sealed. I'll take it all day. Dan, I've never seen this rating before. So a lot of the games are rated E for everybody, but this one is rated EC. Like even Little Einstein's is E for everybody. This one's early childhood.
What?
It's rated early childhood rating.
And it has a kid tested symbol.
The rarest rating of all time. So this one seems to go for about 15 bucks. I mean, better than 5.
that's true.
I mean, I'm gonna keep this, of course. All these games I'm just gonna keep for the nostalgia of them. I wouldn't have probably picked up Meow Kai Land for the nostalgia, but it's Nickelodeon, so that's why I got it.
Nice little counter.
Yeah, it just adds to the Nickelodeon count, and not just that, I mean, at least some representation for Meow Kai Land. Next up, we have Johnny Test here, and I believe this was sent in, yes, by Alan and Samantha Yelm here in fan mail. So this is a Johnny Test video game. The footage is on screen for you guys. It's not sealed, but you know, I added it to our variety collection because, like I said, I don't see a lot of DS games here, and I love shovelware, so I'll add Johnny all day. And Johnny, this one's used. I'm gonna go ahead and say probably just like $10 on screen here for the overall value. And then next up, another sealed one. I got this again at the same place I got this one for $5. I got Ben 10. The Protector of Earth, brand new sealed. So, I mean, just the fact that it's sealed is pretty cool. But the Omnitrix is in your control.
Is it?
Yeah, the artwork on there is dope.
Yeah, I was just like, dang, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and the footage, like the game, look at this freaking heat wave just freaking melting this guy's mouth. Like the gameplay, the graphics don't look terrible, you know?
You got Cannon Bolt over here about to squish somebody.
Yeah, like what year was this?
Probably like 2008.
2007.
Oh.
2008. What do you think? It's Shrek the Third?
That came out 2007 too.
That came out last year. I saw the trailer. 2007. We have Protector of Earth, and this little line here, this is Earth.
That's Earth.
This is Vilgax. He's like Galactus, about to swallow that up with his octo mouth.
12 bucks?
Yeah, probably. Let's just say bin $10. So you're gonna see the values kind of, you know, go down as we get more and more modern, as you can see. But like I said, I mean, where the DS games sit now, that's where the Game Boy was just a few years ago. You know? So the DS is the next, and then after that will be the Wii and, like, you know, the Switch. The next after that will be like 3DS and the Wii and stuff like that. So, I mean, the values will go down in some cases unless they're like, again, big AAA, Mario's, you know, Sonic, you know, Donkey Kong, stuff like that. Of course, it's gonna just keep going up in value because it's rarer and rarer. But a lot of the shovelware games for the DS, you know, the box is solid. It's a lot easier, you know. If your inventory got crushed on the Game Boy Advance, you might just open it up just to sell the cartridge. Whereas the DS, it kind of held up. So this guy goes for $19, which is kind of shocking to me.
Wow, yeah. It's like
19.
almost new.
Yeah, the only one that's up right now is asking $50, but the most recently sold was $20. So we're gonna go ahead and add 19, or we'll just add 20 to make it easy. 20 bucks on screen there for him. All right, so speaking of the Wii, we have a couple Wii games here and also some PlayStation games. So we have Cartoon Network Racing here on the PlayStation 2. So this one has had a way better roster on it. I mean, not better, but more characters. You have Johnny there, you have the Powerpuff Girls, you have Cow and Chicken, you got freaking Mojo Jojo. Also, you got Chicken right there. I guess Cow and Chicken have their own cars. You have the Red Man there, you got Dexter.
You get Johnny's mom in the background.
Yeah, Johnny's mom, and a sick ride too. The Jack-O-Lantern with a Cartoon Network checkered flag.
That's sick.
That is awesome. It was like made for that. You have I Am Weasel in the game too. I mean, you have a good little roster of characters in here too. Up to 2 players. Just a solid, probably of the racing games, the one I would probably say the best would be to play is this one. Oh man, I would love if they would have made this game in an arcade, kind of like the Nick Kart Racing one.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I would have loved to have gotten that. I mean, that would be our first arcade in the inside the house. So this one could go from between $30 to $40.
That's crazy.
Not bad. Not bad.
Considering that the DS or the Game Boy version of kart racing really was $30.
So we'll add that into the price tag there, but of course, I mean, I'm gonna be all excited to watch this video too to see some of that gameplay footage because I have no clue what this game's like, and if I ever find another one in the wild, I'm gonna have to throw it in the PS2 here while to check it out because I'm very interested. But the only one I've ever come across is this sealed one that I have. You know, and I'm not gonna open it.
That's like interesting though. The only one you could find was sealed.
I mean, I could probably go online, but I found that one in the wild. Oh, one of the best games ever when it comes to like third-party, I guess like shovelware games. Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights.
Ooh.
I played this game into oblivion. This and also the Cyber Chase game were the best. Like Scooby-Doo games are amazing, but you get to encounter with so many different Scooby-Doo villains. Here's some gameplay. If you guys played this game, 20 classic Scooby-Doo villains appear in this game.
That is sick. What the heck?
And you play as Scooby the whole time. Oh man, like this game literally just gives me such nostalgic vibes like as soon as I see it. I love the cover of it as well too.
Gives you like Where Are You vibes, yeah.
And in the back, Reggie, Relma,
Red.
where are you? And he's trying to find them, and he's
Oh, it actually doesn't look too bad, yeah.
yeah, it's solid. Like, it's a super solid game, and it's scary. Like, it's genuinely, like, when you're a kid, it was a terrifying game. Like, I remember I had to play the game a lot of times with my sister in the room. Like, even if she wasn't talking to me, wasn't near me, she was, like, reading a book or something, I would just like, oh, she's in here, let me play it. Because I was so afraid of the game.
It was like that for me as a kid watching the show sometimes. It was just like, oh, I don't want to watch this by myself.
Yeah, because you don't know, like, oh, okay, now I'm not going to be able to walk, go get water, or go to the bathroom at night.
I don't know, this Phantom Shadow is going to come after me, you know?
Yeah. All right, so we have another Protector of Earth here. We have the PlayStation 2 version of the game. So I'm not going to add any values for the Night of 100 Frights. I mean, let's just say $10, but it's probably worth what I paid for it. And then we have Protector of Earth, same thing. This is not sealed. We're only going to count the sealed ones open here. Protector of Earth, though, you know, a lot of the times during these days when they did DS versions of the game and also PlayStation versions, they were completely different games.
Yeah, look at the difference in his Fire Blast, you know?
Yeah, like it's the same image, but look at the quality difference, yeah. Like they were almost completely different usually. It's the same thing if you played Battle for Bikini Bottom on the Game Boy versus if you played it on the actual Xbox or PlayStation. World of a difference. This one's so much better in graphics. It's E10 plus. This one's like, okay, you can barely tell what's happening here.
Yeah, true.
Next up here we have what was the last Scooby-Doo video game to ever be released, and it makes me very sad because I think Scooby lends himself to video games so well. I think they could make a Scooby-Doo MMO and I'd be up for it. You know, with mysteries to solve, like spanning an entire like freaking Coolsville.
That'd be cool.
That would be amazing. But this is the last one we got here, and it was on the Wii. Pretty solid game overall. I haven't played it very thoroughly, but it's pretty good. And there's 2 Wii games. There's another one as well too that I don't have, but this is the Spooky Swamp, which I think was the last one by Warner Brother Games. And again, that is not sealed, so you know we'll put some gameplay footage and stuff, but we're not gonna add it to our value counter. So this guy right here is an awesome one because we have Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion. And Mitchell, you had this game too, right?
I don't think I did on the Wii, no.
I remember we used to play Xbox together, and I was playing this at a time though while we were like on Xbox.
Yeah, I can't remember what we were playing though.
So this right here though is the greatest Cartoon Network video game ever in my opinion. This was multiverses before multiverses. You had a battle game with Cartoon Network characters. You had to play as a Kids Next Door. You had to play as Flapjack, Mojo, JoJo. It was just an incredible thing that this game ever got made, and just a true gift to mankind. This was sent by Raven in 2023, and this one right here is a sealed copy, but the sealed version of this game is so obscure I can't even find a sealed version of this one in the US, but this is the European edition here with the PEGI rating there. But then over here you have on the US version, they have Dexter and Johnny, and then on the European, they're like Ben and also Johnny, which is interesting choices that they switched that up slightly, and it says Toon versus Toon, which may be a better marketing tool rather than finally your favorite Cartoon Network characters in one epic brawl. Like, I would never read all that. Toon versus Toon. Yeah, that's very simple.
And they give you like way more on this one, like all these different like maps and fights that could happen besides just like, oh, here's 4.
The small images, because they have to put all the different European,
yeah, that's true.
ratings, but they are smaller. But, I'm glad to have at least one sealed version, and I remember I paid about $40 for this one, so just minus this one and all the other, open ones, just give it $40 all together for all of those on screen. Next up, we have one of my favorite Disney games of all time, that is Epic Mickey, where you get to find out the story behind Oswald, and you get to go into a whole world of exploring the forgotten times, forgotten moments, rides, characters of Disney, and you do it with Mickey Mouse, and you kind of learn those things with Mickey in the game. And we got this one at Savers for $5, and it's worth about $10, so I guess a little $5 plus there, but we're not gonna count it again too because it's open here. But if you have to play a Wii game that's cartoon related, I would recommend this game above any. Like, it's incredible. Next up we have, we're not gonna count this either. It's the Disney Universe here. I found this, I believe, at one of our flea market videos. Pretty beat up copy. I don't even know what this game is about, but I wasn't gonna leave a Disney game behind that had Mike on it and a couple other characters, Jax, Stitch on there for a couple bucks, so I grabbed it. Then we have Generator Rex right here. We'll add a value of $10 for all the ones I didn't give a value to, but you can see the packaging is open here.
Oh yeah.
It is sealed, like nobody's obviously played it because you couldn't have opened it, but it did have a very ripped up packaging here, and it's Generator Rex on the Wii. And Generator Rex was kind of a slept on show too. It was like a spin-off kind of a tangent show to Ben 10. So much so that Ben 10 and Generator Rex actually did meet each other in a collaborative episode.
What happens when the best you can do just
isn't enough. You get an upgrade.
But I feel like, you know, Generator Rex just didn't really have the staying power that Ben did for whatever reason. All right, we're summarizing, getting to the end here. We have some Switch games now. So, my Switch game collection. This does not include all of our, of course, Nickelodeon Switch games, but we have this one right here, Save the Light in OKKO on the Switch, that was sent in by Michaela in 2023. Shout out to you, Michaela. We have Cartoon Network Battle Crashers, which is basically Castle Crashers with Cartoon Network, and it was $5 at Five Below.
That's insane.
It was at Five Below. I got 2 copies of it. This is just one of them. This guy right here, I found at the, I think I found at the swap meet as well too. And this one was, I think I paid $10 for it. It's got the original Aladdin game and also Jungle Book and Lion King, the old school, I believe, maybe NES titles on it. So you have 3 games in one there. And this is not even cartoon related, so we're not gonna count this, but it's a Sonic Mania. I mean, Sonic's got many cartoons. You got Sonic
He's on
X.
Cartoon Network, yeah.
You got Sonic Booms. I mean, I guess he counts. So prices, these are new, so I'm gonna go ahead and price them. We'll go $10 on that one because that game is terrible. But you know, I love all the characters. We'll go with $20 on this one, and then this guy right here, we'll go ahead and go with a value of 20 bucks. So solid little slot there, you know, and I'm glad to be able to represent some of the newer Cartoon Network shows with their games as they come out. And then finally here we have some big box games. So this is big box PC games that I have found in the wild through different circumstances. So this right here is, you know, the big box version of Scooby-Doo Jinx at the Sphinx, which is it's like the most Scooby-Doo title ever.
True, yeah.
Mysterious Mummy and big box PC games, you can open them up like this and get a little, you know, way more detail than you can get on the back of a single game, you know?
It's just crazy to think that inside this, is just like a little disc.
It's just a disc, yeah, it's just a single disc. This is why those single discs are so small. That's why they had to make big box PC games so you could see the game. So this way you didn't just walk by it, you could actually see it, whether they put it on the side profile or up front, you could see the game in all its glory. But I mean, something about the graphics on big box PC games was like, in a lot of the games for like, you know, PlayStation, Wii and stuff like that, they would make the characters 3D and you could tell how off they looked, you know?
Yeah.
But because these were just kind of like 2D games that were made with 2D characters, it kind of looks like you really are playing the show.
Yeah, it does look like you're in the show right here, for sure.
Like with every game that's made out of a cartoon, you're kind of hoping that it feels like you're in that world. Like you play Battle for Bikini Bottom, you feel like you're in a really realistic Bikini Bottom, but it's really not like the show because it is a 3D version of the characters. It's never gonna look just like the show. So for it to feel like you're playing an episode, these earlier games in the 2D format really are kind of what do it. And this guy right here goes for about 40 bucks. So big box PC games are extremely collectible, and it's kind of like what I said about Game Boy Advance, the boxes being super crushable. It's very rare to find big box PC games because most people, they saw this as a facility to get that disc out.
Yeah, because like, what do I want this big box?
Yeah, and then they throw it away. So it's very rare to have the whole box. So it's just sealed too. So 40 bucks there. And then this right here is Bugs Bunny Photo Fun. So this is a classic photo editing game. Now we have apps, filters on Snapchat, different things you can use to do this. But this was the original version of that. You took pictures on your webcam, you know, on your computer, and then you could take this Photoshop software here, this Photo Suite software.
Like this one right here is definitely still being used in memes and stuff.
Yeah, like literally, yeah, like that's already a filter currently. So it's basically just a little Photoshop studio for kids, like, you know, very bare minimum.
For fun, yeah.
Yeah, for fun, and kind of like streamlines, like, you know, quick effects on the photos, and then you could then print those out on your very same computer as well and put like cool borders around it too. Not much of a game as it is a computer program, but nonetheless it is still cartoon related, being that, you know, you got Bugs Bunny on the front, and who guides you through the games and being able to play it is Daffy and Bugs.
That's so cool.
So they guide you with like tutorials on how to do this. And you know, like I always had like little printouts like this, like when I was a kid, and I didn't know where they came from, like whether they were like Garfield or different stuff like that. And now I'm realizing my mom probably had something like this or was using like, you know, online tools similar.
I think it comes with a book too. That's interesting. Yeah,
and it comes with the Looney Tunes book. So this guy goes for about 30 bucks, you know, not super sought after because it is not a game. Usually big box PC games are kind of where you know, the price is a little bit. This is a, you know, a software that is far obsolete. So 30 bucks for this guy. All right, and I don't even know where that brings our total value, but that is actually the end of my game collection that is outside of the Nickelodeon series. I wanted to do an update. It's been a long time since we updated any of these games. Some of these games we have covered here on the show in other ways down in the past, over the last 4 or 5 years or whatever, whether it be on this show or my other channels. But we at least get an update on what's there, and you know, you guys can know what we have in the collection here down the line. So if we're out there hunting, we have a good refreshed memory of what we got here too. And I'm so happy we did it. That was so fun to be able to cover it. And still some of the games, like the one that still blew my mind the most, Jackie Chan Adventures, dude, like $90. Like I have no clue why. I love the show, but it makes no sense to me. And if I were to pick my favorite game here out of all of them to play though, all day, Night of 100 Frights. That game is so freaking solid.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even played any of these, but the Scooby-Doo one just looks so like enticing.
Yeah, it's a solid one for sure. If you ever get a PlayStation 2 or a PS3 to play it, I'll let you borrow it. It's a fun game to play. All right, so on that note, guys, you guys know the drill. You see our total on screen, our game counter on screen. I gotta go put all these back in the collection. So until then, stay tuned for our outro, I guess. You know the drill. Scan it. Welcome to another one of Marcus's Forgotten Outros. You went to the basketball hoop if you want to know, if you couldn't see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you are new here. And if you guys want to support the show even further, you guys can join our Patreon, where you can get a full extended version of this video and also every other video that I upload on any channel. And there's some other tiers as well you can check out, some additional perks. Huge shout out to the big Patreons of the month in the Rep Pack royalty. Shout out to Taz Watsky. Shout out to Storm X Quick. Shout out to List of Legends. Shout out to Prismatic Phantom. Yanis Torres. It's Big Little. Kevin Nguyen. Later. A Castle. Real Queen G. Gabriella. And also Don the Whale. Thank you guys so much for making everything that we do here possible. We appreciate you guys and have so much love for everything you guys do. And if you guys want to see me live, go check out the Whatnot stream that we do every single Friday. If you want to be a part of that, you get $15 for absolutely free when you sign up. You guys can buy, sell, trade, all the different stuff that you guys love to collect, and I love to collect as well here on the channel. Funko Pops, Pokemon cards, you name it. Basically eBay, but if it's live. And I've been doing this for over a year now. It is a really, really safe and awesome platform that I truly have so much fun doing. So if you guys want to check it out, go over there, hang out with us. We'd definitely love to have you. So that link will be down below. I'll see you guys over here in this video that I know you're gonna love. And as always, Rep Pack, I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. Adios and bloop.